On 10/28, the Ashai missions happen, and after those missions, Quinn had a very deep and intimate conversation with the Ashai woman whose common name is S, and whose chosen name is Nesrin Sayer. And it is with Nesrin's message in mind that Quinn sends Kovanen a message as soon as she's able to after the Ashai missions that says, I have something important I need to tell you. You'll want to pray before hearing it. And Kova understands from this message that Quinn needs to tell her on the Ikesorin whatever it is that she needs to tell her. But Svava won't be back until Halloween. So she messages Quinn back and she says, if I need to pray first, then it's going to have to wait until Halloween because I don't have any free time before then. And Quinn just vid calls her. Kovanen picks up immediately. This is Kovanen. Quinn, with bags under her eyes, says, I don't know if I can keep it from you that long. Kovanen's on edge because Quinn's clearly too exhausted to be on her A game. She may compromise them. Is this a conversation you should be having with me? Which is her coding, we cannot have this conversation. Like, wake up. Get a hold of yourself. I'm not comfortable keeping it from you. And Kovanen, seeing how miserable Quinn is, wants to speak gently to her, but they're being so veiled, so she has to be terse. It's only a couple days, Default. It can't be so pressing that it can't wait a few days. Are you even gonna be able to talk to me then? She's unable to not speak softly at Quinn's clear hurt. Of course I am. I've been given the night off for Halloween. Quinn perks up. Does that mean I'll see you on the Chamwell? It does not. I cannot leave my post. I'll be busy throughout the day, managing things here, but I will find the time to speak with you on Halloween like I promised. Quinn's face falls. She looks so weary. I was really hoping I'd get to meet you in real life. And Kovanen feels a slight pang in her chest upon hearing that, and at seeing Quinn's condition. It's not a big deal. Kovanen was kind of hoping she'd get to meet her in real life too. And she's upset that her request to be able to attend the party was denied. She had to fight really hard to even get the night off. And it's a little upsetting to her that she feels this way. And she's been stressing a lot over it. She fears that her behavior may be giving away too much. To not just Quinn, but to Meliora. So she speaks harshly. You'll still get this talk you want, you spoiled girl. And Quinn is visibly devastated by that. Kovanen probably doesn't know enough about the context of what she's going to have to do on the Chamwell in order to protect her family to realize what she just said. How biting that comment about her being a spoiled girl was received, because Quinn knows she'll have to spend all day and most of the night as Quinn Raisling. So when she responds, her voice is edged. You have no idea how tired I am of being a spoiled girl. And then she bites her tongue and she stops herself. She doesn't want to fight, let alone have the energy to fight. Fine. But I did try to tell you sooner, Kova. Make note of it. Kovanen's eyes widen as Quinn abandons a fight. Because now it's clear that Quinn is exhausted, because Quinn never gives up on a fight. So she must really not have the energy for much. Noted. Kovanen takes in the sight of her, and she feels that pressure in her chest again. Default, you look exhausted. You have a fancy party in a few days. You should get some rest so you're at the top of your game. I can't. I have to finish my project and get everything set up. What's the urgency? Whatever you're burning yourself at both ends of the candle for probably is not going anywhere. And now she's coding. Dia, I'm not going anywhere. Please just get some rest. No, I don't want to waste time not working at it. And Kovanen is now distressed at her condition, and she forgets herself. Resting is not a waste. Shit. She gets back into character and she speaks sternly. Default, not everything has to be towards some constructive end. And the dynamic between Kova and Quinn has really shifted because now it's Kova telling Quinn to take it easy and not the other way around, which is their usual MO. Ugh, Quinn rubs at her face. If I don't get it done, I can't tell you what I need to tell you. Default, don't run yourself into the ground trying to get it perfect. Just get it good enough. If it's not perfect, then there's a chance it'll mess up, and you... She catches herself. This is important to me. Kovanen's eyes widen by what she's certain Quinn was going to say, which is, "You're important to me," and how close she came to saying it before managing to catch herself, and she says, "I swear to you, whatever you can get done when you're allowing yourself enough rest will be good enough, Default." And Quinn says, "You promise?" And Kovanen says, "I promise. Get some sleep. I'll see you on Halloween." Kovanen signing off. And after she logs off, she sends an email to Sylvia from her Juno address that just basically says, "Please make Dia sleep more." Halloween arrives, and Quinn gets the matchmaker set up as best she can. Now they can audibly, visually, and textually communicate with each other in almost complete security. Only things like physical bugs and physical eavesdroppers could compromise them when they're on the Ike Soren. And doing anything off the Ike Soren will never be safe. Unfortunately, Quinn wasn't able to finish the VR in time, especially not with Sylvia bullying her into bed. And while Quinn is better rested, she's despondent about that because she wanted a VR date with Kova on Halloween. Still, Svava arranges it so Kovanen and Quinn can have a conversation on the Ike Soren, one as secure as almost anything can possibly be made. And Kova spends the whole day working herself to the bone, then ends her workday and meets up with Svava on the Ike Soren where she dresses up in her Halloween costume. Svava is amused. She's dressed up as Ike from Fire Emblem. "There you are. Okay, first, who the heck are you dressed up as?" Some kind of video game character from a video game she told me she likes, Undertale. So I'm some kind of, and I quote, "cool gay fish lady." Svava bites back a "oh" response, and it takes everything she has not to make that response. Does she know you're dressing up as that character? No, we didn't coordinate this. Why? Should she know? Am I messing up? I think she'll like the surprise. Actually, it's thoughtful. I feel ridiculous. Cut loose and have a little fun with it, Kovanen. Finally, you're pretending to be someone you chose for yourself. Kinda. I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, it's Svava for you, always seeing the bright side, right? Have fun, Rasha. Kovanen. Svava is startled. Rasha is not correcting her on the name. She's calling her Kovanen. Yeah? How can I repay you? That paint come off? No. Well then, first give a rat a hug, kid, but second, allow yourself to enjoy yourself, okay? That's how you repay me. Rasha embraces Svava and speaks during the hug, as Svava hugs her back. The hug is easy, the other thing, I'll do my best. Svava squeezes her and releases her. I know you will, kid. You always do. I'm gonna head on over to the Chamwell now. She takes one last look over the controls. VR is almost set up. This is the skeleton of it. It's pretty damn secure. She'll be calling you eventually, so just make yourself at home, I guess. Pfft, don't mess with my ship, and good luck, Rasha. Stay determined. She heads off. Rasha slides back into Kovanen mode as she waits and waits and waits. And eventually, she actually starts to get anxious and impatient, and she moves to call Quinn, but the comms ring because Quinn just called her first. She answers. This is Kovanen. Your camera's off. Yeah, so's yours. Shit. Is it? Hold on. I guess press down on the function key and press the camera button at the same time on your end. Wait! Yeah? Let's count down and do it together. You're really taking this seriously, huh? Maybe I want us both to have a nice Halloween. I want that too. You ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. She turns her camera on, and Quinn's camera comes on at the exact same time. And hey, trust exercise success! Quinn is dressed as Alphys from Undertale, and she takes a loud intake of breath upon seeing Kovanen, and she covers a delighted squeal. What? Why are you Undyne? And Kovanen's reaction is, oh my gosh, Quinn is, like, so cute. She looks so much better rested, too. This is relieving. Why are you the gay lizard scientist? She's my favorite character. I thought the cool gay fish lady. Quinn interrupts her. Undyne, Kova continues. I thought Undyne was your favorite. I said she was the best, not that she was my favorite, you dork. How is your favorite different than the best? And you're the fucking dork. Quinn's delighted to see the side of Kovanen. Her face is flushed. Fandom is complicated. How am I a dork? Kovanen is grinning. She's enjoying herself, and this is probably illegal. You're literally dressed as a dork, you dork! Quinn raises her finger to protest, but then she drops her hand. No, you got me there. You know, you're technically wearing blue paint on your left arm. Are you here in paint? And Kovanen's expression twists into an expression of surprise, and she takes a sharp intake of breath. How do you know about paint? Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Didn't you watch my last stream? I did a training exercise with some Ashai, along with the other Hex girls, and they came in paint, and they explained it to us. They actually explained a lot of things to us. I know a lot of things now. Your latest stream was cut off locally, and I wasn't able to watch. Quinn gives Kovanen a knowing look. Blasted technical difficulties. Kovanen smiles, and she physically relaxes, and she slips into Kova mode as she says, yeah, I'm here in paint. Good. Me too. Though I'm not wearing it. Wearing it is symbolic, though. I was actually thinking about dressing up as Kovanen. The original Kovanen, not you, Krith, well, S, described her to me. But I felt it might be a little appropriative to dress as her, so I went with what I like. But look at this, you also went with what I like. This is so silly. What a ridiculous coincidence. Thank you. And Kova is so gratified by Quinn's gratitude. You're welcome. Did they tell you what Kovanen meant? No. They said it was your turn to explain. They explained some other stuff to me, though. I know some terms now. I'm not dressed as S, but I'm here as S, too. Kova can't help but smile more at that. You almost kind of get it. Well, not getting it is a Keela thing, right? I'm not interested in being Keela. I want to be S. That's a Peor. I actually want to be Kovanen most, though. They explained Peor to you? No, wait, more important. Why do you want to be Kovanen? You don't know what Kovanen means. Yeah, I don't know what Kovanen means to the Ashai, but I know what it means to me. I want that. I want Kovanen. And Quinn's saying a lot here, right? Because Kovanen is called Kovanen, so she's saying, I want you. And she's saying she wants the concept of Kovanen as well. So Kova makes a stricken sound. Dia, this system you're making, can I upload things onto it? Yeah, you can, though I didn't expect that from you. I'm not really owed or entitled to anything from you, Kova. But yeah, you could upload things to it. We could share and exchange all kinds of data and content. Did you ask this because you have something in mind you want to share? Yes. That ritual they experienced with Udea, it was a form of vetting. And they determined that you're somebody to disarm on and exchange pos with. Sharing our terms is, she blushes under the body paint, special. We don't do that with just anybody. So those goofballs just set that precedent that you can be safely taught terms. And they sent that message to me through you. I'd be ignoring their guidance and lost weighing if I didn't humor it at least a little. So I should find a way to define some terms securely, maybe write them up and upload them for you. I didn't understand all that. And what she's saying here is, I did understand all of that, but I'm pretending I didn't. But don't write up or share anything now, because I don't want to risk people who haven't been vetted seeing this stuff too much. I don't want to be a vehicle of exposure, and I'm paranoid, which is her saying, I'm not going to risk exposing your language, and I'm going to take the blame for you not sharing it in hopes that I take all the heat. And Kova's impressed by her coding. She scratches at her cheek. She says, you really are here to get it. And Quinn says, I always have been. I'm just dumb sometimes. Not dumb, just sheltered. None of our exchanges were Keela, they were Ewer. No, you're not making any sense. Is Ewer a good thing? It's a less bad thing. Let's talk about safer things, Kova. Through paint blood, Joss. Kova's taken aback. Just a son. She segues quickly. Okay, why the gay lizard sign? Quinn interrupts again. Alphys. Kova's amused. Why is Alphys your favorite character? Well, she's a huge dork who's really into anime and fandom stuff, just like me. And, she's a lesbian, like me. I guess I'm saying she reminds me a lot of me, and that's why she's my favorite. Didn't she secretly undertake that task to try and help the monsters sealed in the underground harness some kind of power so they could maybe escape and be free, but instead accidentally made some abominations out of folks' loved ones? And Quinn blinks. Wait, you actually listen to me when I ramble about this stuff? Oh, yeah, why wouldn't I? But you're not even into it? I mean, I haven't given it a chance yet. I haven't had time. Maybe I would be. Regardless, who cares if I'm into it or not? I like how excited you get about it. Quinn's moved. That's basically what she says. What? Who? Undyne. The character you're dressed as. That's basically what she says to Alphys on their date. Wait, they're dating? Eventually, yeah, they hook up. Kova blushes. Are we dating? She's panicking internally. Quinn blushes too. Do you want to be dating? I gotta go. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Forget I asked. Let's just drop it and have a nice time, okay? But is it a date? It's just two girls hanging out on Halloween, Kova. Okay. She takes a seat in Svava's pilot chair. Quinn continues. Alphys makes a lot of mistakes, and some of those mistakes are very big ones, and it leads to her hating herself and having a really low opinion of herself. But she still does her best to comfort the grieving families and fix her mistakes. And she reminds you of you? Where are you going with this? Just making an observation. Quinn narrows her eyes. You're walling. Are you sure you want to hear my, what'd you call them, hot takes? Yes, Kova, I want to hear your hot takes. Alright, well, maybe you resonated with that part of her character, too. Do you feel that way about yourself? Yes. Quinn's just being real and vulnerable and exposed, and that's really getting to Kova. Well, don't. She's just fiction. There's often a bit of truth in fiction, though, Kova. A lot of fiction is drawn from real life. Humph. Can we talk about the music here? Oh, yeah. How'd you like that new stuff I sent you? Oh, well, I've gone through the greatest hits of the 50s, 60s, and 70s now, and I gotta say, it's not bad. Quinn's delighted because Kova likes her mixtapes. That's just Western pop music, too. I bet you'd love more independent and underground stuff. The stuff from other countries, too. Maybe I could find something that reminds you of the Ashai. Gosh, did we even have music? It was so long ago. We've lost so much. Who got you in contact with more of us? You know who. And everything you know about us now, you learned from them. Or were you able to find out things those other ways you have? And Kova's asking this with like a kind of tense anxiety and excitement. Because maybe the knowledge for people wasn't just completely erased from history, right? But also, people just being able to learn about her people is dangerous. Just from them, you know who told me you were Ashai. And then she did some work in the background to introduce me to more Ashai after my foolishness with the Clanners. I'm sorry about that, still. And Kova makes an agonized sound, both at the knowledge that, yes, her people were just erased from history, and also that, Quinn's reminded her of that thing she did with the Clanners. I'm sorry? No, it's fine, it's I. You're showing me you're sorry. But I also appreciate the words. Honestly, I should have told you I was Ashai forever ago. It's only fair. You told me who you are. I ignored Alia. I'm sorry. Kova, there's nothing to forgive. You knowing what I am isn't quite the same as me knowing what you are. I'm just a boring white person. There's billions of me out there. There's 74 Ashai left in the galaxy, and well, one day we can talk about that again. Ah, Kova's eyes widen. Quinn does know a lot. Let's continue then. No, you're not a boring white person. You're an interesting Slavic person. Quinn perks up. How do you know what Slavs are? You know who? They've been going through your archives. Keeper of secrets. Kova laughs along with her, and she's relieved. Quinn composes herself, and she wipes tears from her eyes, and Kova's startled at that. You're crying? Why are you crying? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. They're happy tears, Kova. Happy tears? This is a foreign concept to Kova. And Quinn just goes silent at that. Wow, it hurts that that's foreign to her. I'll teach you about them. Right now. Okay. It's gonna require a serious talk. And Quinn becomes more subdued at that. And the adrenaline of seeing Kova is starting to burn off, and it's revealing her weariness from, all that hard work on the matchmaker she's still been doing, as well as all that effort she made at being Quinn Riesling at the party all day. Oh, and also she finally finished reading all of her father's dossier. It was that long. Kova tenses up in anticipation of whatever Quinn's about to say, and also at the sight of her and at her changed demeanor. And she says, I'm bracing myself, go ahead. So Quinn begins. I read your email. We have a lot to talk about. We do. About knowing how this shit works. Maybe I lied. Just maybe. I definitely lied. I didn't know. You finished his dossier, didn't you? Quinn has tears in her eyes again as she says, yeah. Those aren't happy tears, How could you have known? She meets eyes with her. Are you going to go home now? Quinn dashes away her tears. No, because now I know. And if I go home then, she gestures vaguely, they've won. I still have unfinished business here. I'm still trying to do what I can to prevent people from being swept up and help the people who have been, just like you are. No, Dia, you don't know now. And you're not a soldier. You're someone who's been swept up. You're wrong! And fuck, she just broke paint. She course corrects quickly, and she earnestly appeals to Kovanen. Kovanen, I still have something to prove. How is this teaching me what happy tears are? And Kovanen has now also broken paint, and also she's pissed. The only thing you're proving is how sheltered you still are! And she logs off. Damn it! And Quinn throws things angrily. No, you know what? No! No! She calls her back. Kovanen answers because she has orders to always answer, and she doesn't realize she doesn't have to obey those here. Yes, default? Default's not here right now. This is Quinn speaking. Why are you being so mean to me? Oh, now or in general? Both! Well, in general, it's because you're gonna get yourself hurt or killed out there and... Quinn pounces on that. Why do you care what happens to me? Kovanen's taken aback by that. Cat got your tongue? Good. I think I know why. You don't know shit. I know you don't really have an excuse for being so hostile when we're not being surveilled. You're just choosing to be mean. This makeshift whatever you set up isn't completely secure. Does that mean you'll be nice when it is? Look, let me take responsibility. I broke paint first. I'm sorry. I lost my cool, and then I called you back, mad, and now we're both out of paint. I was going to compare you to my father, and we both know how brutal and ruthless that would have been. I'm back in paint now. How would that have? Never mind. Good news. I'm used to brutal and ruthless. Her posture is rigid now. You want to talk about Governor Vadim Reisling? Let's talk about him. You are very much his daughter. How could you? Let me finish. I'm getting back into paint. You don't hold back, and you don't quit, just like your father. But unlike him, you're driven in an effort to reduce suffering and mend it, not inflict it. It's like you took the traits I hate most about him, and you made them good. Nice enough for you? Quinn blinks rapidly at that. Yes. Why this sudden change in demeanor? Because you're right. I shouldn't be being so mean. I'm sorry. Forgiven. She relaxes. The way I see it, you just don't want the same things that happened to you to happen to me, and that's why you're so hostile. You're trying to discourage me away from a path you regret taking yourself. Pretty much. And like my email said, you have a choice, so it's especially insulting to see you thumb your nose at that option I would have given so much to have. Humph. But you're still choosing to be in the thick of things now when you could choose different. Of course I am. Just a son. What? Kova, I don't think you're using that statement the way I was taught it was used. Oh, right. There's contextual nuance, dear. The basics aren't going to cover that, only familiarity will. One of the things I hope you'll learn when I define and share more terms with you is just how less intense the terms become when I convert them into non-Ashai terms. What I'm trying to convey here is that I'm making a difficult choice in hopes of achieving a greater good. Well, I respect that choice then, if you're making it of your own free will. I sure as hell am making my choices of my own free will. But just so you know, Kova, coerced consent isn't consent. Why do you always have to draw such offensive conclusions from my situation? You say you respect my choices, but I don't feel respected. And Quinn's like, fuck. I don't want you hurt any more than you want me hurt. Why do you care what happens to me? Because I care about you. And you care about me too. That's why you're mean to me. And Kovan is just utterly shredded by that pause, and she phrase, why would I be mean to you if I care about you? Well, probably because you're afraid. I'm afraid too, Kova. But that's part of what drives me. Fear is a payor to me, and I keep that payor from becoming excessive by challenging my fears and opposing them. When fear compels me to do something, I do the opposite. You use this common context of wars and conflicts and battling a lot. Well, battles aren't just fought in the flesh, they're fought in the mind, right? You're the one who told me that. But battles are fought in the heart as well, Kova. And the heart is scary. Now, your upbringing made you a devastating physical and mental fighter, but it damaged your heart. Whereas my upbringing gave me all the heart and the mind in the universe. But look at me. She waves about her noodly arms. If I had punched a bug, I'd probably hurt my hand more than I hurt the bug. So, you're fighting. And, by the way, we don't even need to be fighting. On my home turf here. But you probably could totally kick my ass in real life, Kova. She grins. Kova scoffs. She frays more at Quinn's pass. Maybe I will. I'm still not sure how this is teaching me about happy tears, though. Well, are you happy? It's been kind of back and forth all night, so yes and no. Quinn tilts her head. You? You don't let yourself cry, do you? You never have. I've cried. Well, when's the last time you cried? Kova glances away from her. She doesn't want to tell her. Before I can teach you about happy tears, I'm gonna have to teach you about crying in general, aren't I? Her expression is glum. Great. Geez, okay. She steadies herself. Remember when I told you about that country that just churned its people to dust and broke all their promises to them because it didn't give a shit about them? Well, I know Deliverance is exactly like that. They don't care about you. They're just using you. Kova sucks in a sharp inward hiss of breath, and she looks back at Quinn. And Quinn gentles some at Kovanen's clear distress. But I bet there are people who really do care about you. They shouldn't. I'm just a cog in the machine. I bet someone loves you. No. But someone does. No. Nobody loves me. They love Kovanen. Quinn is stricken by that. That's a familiar feeling. I felt the same way once, that nobody loved me. They just loved an idea they had of me, or the default brand I'd manufactured. But Kova... No. Kovanen, Siva, don't! No, you don't! Kovanen, I know someone loves you. Because I love you. You... She logs off. Fuck! Quinn throws things, and now she's also breaking things. Okay, so back on the Chamuel, whatever conversation Svava was in the middle of, she immediately, leaves. She just gets up and rushes off without even an excuse. Because her AI alerts her the moment that shit started going south between Quinn and Kovanen. Now, she bursts in, and she hurries to soothe Kovanen's racked nerves, as Kovanen just unravels at Quinn's explicit love confession. She sputters and stammers in disbelief, repeating over and over that Quinn doesn't even know who she is. And Svava pats her, and she lets her wear herself out, and is startled when Kovanen just sinks into her with an utterly wretched sound. I can't. Svava, I can't. I can't. Svava embraces her. But you're doing it right now, kid. And that just makes it worse. And Kovanen just sobs. And she's been crying a lot lately, actually. Though, before meeting Quinn, she hadn't cried in years. Svava's fur is getting soaked, and she rubs Kovanen's back up and down, but she doesn't say a thing. Kovanen tries to compose herself, but no, she's a mess. Maybe she can do it this time. No, that just made it messier. It's just too much, and she just continues to be consumed for quite a while. And Svava just makes these really comforting noises, and when she speaks, her voice is just so tender. You're Freyan. And Kova sucks in a breath. She can do this. She takes deep breaths. I'm fraying. And Svava reaches up to stroke her hand through Kova's hair. She's shorter than her. It's a good thing, Rasha. And Rasha responds, What does she want from me? You. Rasha rests against Svava. I don't even have me. Well, my dear, that's what we Nimish call a solvable problem. VR's almost done. You still in for having a real talk with her? How can you be so sure she wants me? Well, I ain't the one who needs to be sure now, am I? Why don't you hear it straight? Well, nothing straight about this. Directly from her. Yeah. Okay. And she bites her tongue. Because she says that she'll just talk Quinn out of being in love with her, which is what she was about to say, Svava would skin her alive. So instead she says, I'm in. And Svava is relieved and she says, I knew you had it in you, kid.